On this week's show, Light FX Kylo Ren and Ducktales First Look.
A woohoo!
All this and more. We gotta start over. Pirate, where were you at?
I think it's funnier that way.
That was good. All this and more in episode 127 of the Inside Infinity podcast. Hello everyone, welcome to Inside Infinity episode number 127, recorded March 7th, 2016. I'm one of your three just dashingly handsome hosts this evening, Will Kelly, and to my right, the one and only, the scallywag, Mr. Pirate Steven. Pirate Steve, how you doing tonight, buddy?
I'm good. Well, thanks for having me on my quarterly appearance.
You're welcome. You're welcome. I'm glad you couldn't have left that on the pre-show.
Oh, yeah. True.
We're just fulfilling the terms of the contract with doing the bare minimum.
That's right.
Right.
That's right.
You've had me on more than Steve C, so I'm happy.
That's true. Let's be honest, no one else was available tonight, so you got the call.
Yeah, I realize that.
Just kidding. We're so happy to have you back, buddy. It's always a pleasure having you on the show. We have a ton of people watching live today, so welcome and thank you for that. But I think they're all here to see you. But before we get started with the show, Lloyd, you're back from outer space.
I am.
With that
I'm
not
back
dumb
from
look on your
massive-
face.
I was talking over you. That was horrible. So I'm obviously out of practice here, Will. So I don't know what you said. My apologies.
That's okay. It was a total singing of I Will Survive. But no, I'm glad to have you back. And you're well. People have been worried about you. They've been asking about you on the internets. And but you're back with a vengeance now.
I'm good. I had a concussion and I was pretty much in the dark, quiet, watching TV with blindfold on. That was pretty much my existence for 5 days. I'm doing much better now. So if I say weird words, that weirder than normal, that's just due to my concussion. That's my excuse and I'm sticking with it. But no, I'm happy to be back after taking a whole week off. And yeah, it's good to be here.
Well, you look all bright-eyed and bushy-tailed, so the rest must have helped.
Well, this guy looks bright-eyed and bushy-tailed.
It's true. Or the other one too, right?
Well, it's more puffy-tailed.
But isn't bright-eyed and bushy-tailed something you say about a bunny? Or am I just making that up?
No, I think it's a fox. I think you're well.
The question is what it say. Anyway, welcome everyone who are watching the live stream, twitch.tv/Disney Infinity TV. I'd like to say hello to a few of our friends, not everyone, so if you don't hear your name, don't feel too bad. Art4MM, welcome. Captain Disney, Crystal Perry, haven't seen you in a while. Q Lanu, what's up, Logan? How you doing, buddy? Impano, Pirate, Steven, what? Sonic Photo, and Westerosaurus. Welcome everyone in chat. We really appreciate you joining us this week. Appreciate you joining each and every week, but we're recording this on an off day, and it's great having such a good a good turnout. I think they're all here to see you, Pirate. Anyway, we're gonna see how this show goes. We recorded a show last week on Wednesday, and so there hasn't been a ton of news since then. All the news was last week with Infinity Next. Pirate, what'd you think, man? I mean, just a brief did you like the next thing? And actually, same for you, Lloyd, since you weren't on last week. What do you guys think of this new next thing they're doing?
I like the format. It's kind of like the Nintendo announcements that everybody gets all hyped for. It's cool that they had them in the different locations all over the United States. Hopefully they'll add more. But luckily they had one in Orlando, so I got to go to it. And it was cool. Each different location had a different representative from the community team. And we had Tyler Sanchez in ours. So it's always good to see him.
Yeah, totally.
That's really cool. Yeah, no, I love the announcement. Just like you said, Pirate, it's like the Nintendo Directs. It makes sense why they said that they're not going to be presenting at E3 this year because there's no new game, and this is kind of their new format for breaking the news out. I dig it. If we could get these every couple months, that's an amazing way to get the news out. I loved all the announcements. I love the fact that 3.0 is going to be what this year's game is. They're just going to keep patching in content. That was one of my biggest I don't know, one of the biggest features for Dimensions that I really love, the fact that you don't have to buy another base, you don't need another box, you could just keep buying content as you like. So that was really great. And finally, the characters that we knew for months because of leaks finally getting announced officially, so we can talk about them and we can say how much we love the various characters. Ant-Man's gonna kick butt. I can't wait to pick that one up. But yeah, no, next was a lot of fun.
Totally.
Yeah, and it's cool. They kind of took what Disney Infinity TV, not directly what we've said, but we've been talking about local meetups, and it was cool to get to talk with other fans. I got to meet Infinite and Carrie, who's always a listener of the show, and other people. It was just really cool to be able to see people that you talk with and in the community in person.
Totally. Yeah, I saw. I think I saw some tweets with you and her, and it was kind of cool. It's always cool seeing like members of the community that are able to meet in person and come together. It's because like you kind of get to know people virtually, but seeing them in person it's another level, which is pretty cool.
Awesome.
And the other cool thing they did was so Tyler announced the next was going to come on, and right before that they had a personal message from JV and Allison that was directed to like the Hey Orlando.
Oh wow.
And so I'm sure they did that for each of the cities.
That's awesome.
Except for Anaheim because they were actually there. But this sold out really fast too. Anaheim and Orlando, it was within 5-10 minutes, and you couldn't sign up for it anymore. So it's
Wow.
good to see that these events are so popular. Because I went to the Good Dinosaur one as well, and it was like 75% empty. So
Really?
It's a very popular event.
Huh. Oh,
That's
whoa,
cool.
whoa, whoa. Yeah, I got you. Why do you think that Good Dinosaur had such a low turnout in comparison? Because it wasn't tied with something like Next?
Well, the free screen is Zootopia. I mean, Zootopia was more anticipated maybe than Good Dinosaur. They did say sign up and there'd be a free gift. So just knowing that ahead of time might be why it sold out more quickly.
This is a bummer. Blue Jay 97 in the chat is saying in San Francisco they did not get the intro due to some technical difficulties. It's a bummer.
Oh, that's a bummer.
Yeah, and San Francisco, I believe, had Scott Schlesinger was there and Brian Nelson.
Nice. Oh wow, that's cool. It's really cool how they split everyone up too. I'm
not sure who went to Chicago, but I know like New York got Brit was up there, and it was cool. I think at each event I knew somebody that was there, so
that's awesome.
Definitely, if they had one of these every 2-3 months, I think it'd be very popular.
Cool.
I think this is the first time we can say on this show that it was Lem's idea first. Usually it's Jason's idea, but this time it was Lem's idea with the regional meetups. So that was great to see them jump.
Brilliant.
Lem is brilliant. He was quick to point that out too. It cracked me up. Props to you, Lem.
Nice.
Well, cool, man. Well, glad you had a good time, and yeah, that's last week we had Abe on the show, and he went to the LA one, so he got to tell us a little bit about that. And now we got the East Coast, we got the other coast down. So awesome, gents. Well, with that, let's go ahead and start talking about the news of the show. Pirate, you gave us every item on here except for one, so thank you for not only doing your co-hosting duty by showing up, but also providing content through the show. This first item, what's that?
I showed up.
That's right. That's right. You taking notes, Lloyd? No, I'm just blanking.
No, sorry, I can't hear you right now. It's my head. Will I'm having problems with my head right now.
You got some interference. All right, this first item, bringing up DizKingdom.com. I think you probably have some kind of insider knowledge about this because you're there locally, Pirate. But this first item is the Superheroes headquarter is closing on April 2nd. And this is kind of tertiary as far as Disney Infinity related news is concerned. So yeah, do you just want to tell, you've actually been to this, haven't you, Pirate?
This is actually at Disneyland, so this is not local to me, but I've been to Disneyland several times. So they, in their Tomorrowland area, they have a area they call Superhero Headquarters, They have this really cool. Last time I was there, they had an Iron Man, like all of the different Iron Man suits in the area, and then they also had Disney Infinity, so people could play the game. And that was really the first introduction that Disney Infinity had in the theme parks for people just to hang out and play, kind of marketing as well. So superhero headquarters, specifically for superheroes, has Disney Infinity kiosks for people to play. And then if you go there, you can get a special toy box level designed by the mentors for superheroes. And they have the same thing in Disney World, but it's for Star Wars Launch Bay where they have all the different kiosks. So it's sad to see that on April 2nd, they are not going to have superhero headquarters anymore, especially because this month in the community, they had a toy box contest where if you had the best Marvel or you got like a prize pack, but you also got to have your level played in the theme park, which was one of the prizes. So I don't know what they're going to do with that now.
You're right.
Be interesting. I'm sure the Infinity team doesn't even know that it's closing after announcing that, but it's interesting.
Yeah, this kind of thing isn't abnormal for the parks, right? I mean, it's such a dynamic environment that is constantly changing based on the temperature of the time. Does it really surprise you that this is leaving?
Well, it's always good to have something Marvel in your parks.
Yeah.
Orlando can't do it because of Universal Studios theme park rights, but at Disneyland, they're going to just move two of the character meet and greets to California Adventures, which is great. But I'm not sure what they're going to do with the kiosk yet for Disney Infinity.
Yeah, it's interesting. It is a bummer. It's not like Marvel is any less hot than it was when it first introduced.
Absolutely, there's kind of a big movie coming out soon, so they gotta have something.
Kind of Team Iron Man. Anyway. Well, cool. That's a bummer. It'll be interesting to see if anything happens with those toy boxes, or if maybe they'll release like a special series of toy boxes on the game itself. But that still isn't quite as honoring, I don't think. But anyway, cool. Next time, guys, this is kind of neat. It's not really a surprise, but it's nice to see some confirmation. This is actually Captain Disney is in the chat, so thanks, buddy, for sending this right before the show started. So Alvin tweeted at JV and asked the question, will the new Star Wars figures coming later this year work in Disney Infinity or in the Star Wars playsets? And JV responded to that, and he said yes. Man, a few words there, which is totally okay. It's just nice to get some confirmation. So sure. It seems like that trend of at least the Star Wars characters is going to continue, and we're going to get all those new characters that are still to be released will be backwards compatible with the original or the other playsets.
Makes sense. They already did that with the episode 7 figures. They patched them into all of the playsets that didn't have them. So yeah, it makes sense they're going to keep doing that. I love the fact that they do that with Star Wars. I wish we had a lot more of that, but I guess we have the ultimate version of that with the Marvel playset coming out. Yeah. So I like that. I like the ability to pick any of my figures and play with them, even if I have to go find a coin to do it.
Now, I haven't put any of the Force Awakens characters in either Twilight or Rise. Are there did they patch coins into those? Okay, so you have to actually get coins for them as well.
Yep.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, that's cool. It's good to know that it's just more replayability. So that's awesome. So thanks for that, Captain Disney. It was a good little item there. This other one was cool. I don't know how I missed this. So thanks again, Pirate. Lloyd, you'll get a kick out of this being a comics fan. So we are getting a new Black Panther comic series. Right? That's the way I understand it. It's an entire series dedicated just to Black Panther. Issue number 1 is going to have a Disney Infinity variant, and it is going to be the Black Panther figure. So bringing it up here on screen. Again, this is coming at you from DizKingdom.com. And that's it. This is super cool to me. I like this cross promotion. What do you guys think?
it's pretty cool. Marvel just blew up their whole universe, so pretty much every book is starting at number one. Some started already, some are starting again, and they usually do that for new comic series. You'll get the comic will come out with its normal cover, and you'll get like 2, 3, 4, 5, sometimes 8 variant covers of various types. Some of them are for later printing. Some of them come out with the issue when it hits. This is cool that they're doing Disney Infinity now, though. And it just totally makes sense because, I mean, Star Wars comics are big. You can just do a variant Disney Infinity Star Wars cover. Marvel, obviously, is going to be big with the new playsets coming out. So you can just reboot. When those books reboot, you can just have variant covers for Disney Infinity and get a lot of that synergy, cross-promotion, blah, blah, blah. I was going to try to find some more buzzwords, but I couldn't give me. It totally makes sense, and it's really great for collectors as well, because now people that are big Disney Infinity collectors that buy the plates and the comics or the I don't know, posters, books, whatever. I've seen some really weird Disney Infinity branded stuff. Now they can add comics to the list of stuff they have to go out and pick up at their local comic shop. So pretty cool thing.
Westasaurus in the chat is saying, now that I think is incredibly cool, planning to pick it up. Infinifan is saying, okay, that cover is amazing. Greening As are saying, Panther's already in my pool. So it seems like a lot of people are not only excited about this character, but also this variant comic edition. Pirate, what are your thoughts?
Synergy. Disney's all about synergy. That's their favorite buzzword. But like, it's great. I mean, my knowledge of Black Panthers is mostly from watching the Disney XD cartoon, where it had several times Black Panther's been on there. So that's my base of knowledge. But the figure looks incredible, and I can't wait to learn more about him just from seeing that comic book cover and seeing how awesome the figure looks. I can't wait to see him in Civil War. His movie is coming out within the next 2 years, so definitely he'll be around a long time.
Yep. And I love this cover, that it looks, it's strangely, it's almost like they just put a filter on it, because it looks very Infinity as far as like you can almost tell it's a plastic character, but it does have this overlay that matches a little bit of the background that makes it look hand drawn. And I don't know if it is or not, but I feel like as a Black Panther fan, if you didn't really know Infinity that well, or you didn't know Black Panther was becoming a character, this might be enough as a fan just to be like, oh, that's a pretty cool variation of this character that I love.
Yeah, I'm going to try to pick this one up at my local comic book shop.
I think I will too.
I'd buy a whole comic book if they did all the infinitize the entire comic book for one issue at least. That'd be awesome.
That would be totally cool, especially like Lloyd, you said the Star Wars ones would be amazing. Oh, yeah. Like the Poe comic that's coming up in April.
Yeah, there you go.
That would be awesome. And who knows? Why limit it to this? I don't know. What do you guys think? Do you think this could be a trend for things to come, or do you think this is something just for this comic?
We'll see how well it sells, and then they can make the decision based off that.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. If you go to comic book shops that bring in a lot of these variants, there's some weird variants. There'll be like pencil variants where it's just like the pre-art's just penciled in. There's variants with like chibi looks or super deformed looks. Like they get these weird people to come on and guess drawing a cover, but they're usually in short supply. So if you guys are really serious about picking these up, you want to go down to one of your shops right away and put your name down for one of these variant covers, because there's less variant covers than there is the normal like comic book shop cover version, or the ones that get delivered to people's houses if you have like a physical subscription to these comics and they ship them to you. So the variants are usually in shorter supply, and they usually go up in value, not like collector value, but as soon as they're not current anymore, most comic book shops will bump them up to like $5 or $6 or $8 or whatever, just because they are rarer than the main book. So you'll want to go down to your comic book shop, say, are you bringing this in? And if they say no, you say, can you bring it in for me? And hopefully you can get a copy locked away that way, because they will probably sell out pretty quickly.
Yeah, and I went to my local comic book shop the other day, and I suggest everybody does this as well. But the new Darkwing Duck comic is coming out in April, and you should have them pull that one and this Black Panther.
All right.
Definitely.
So complete noob here. And actually this kind of goes along with something I was about to say. I would be very curious to hear what the percentage of Infinity fans are Marvel fans based primarily on the movies versus comics. Like, I wonder if this could be, like you said, that synergy, if it could get Infinity fans that may only know the Marvel Cinematic Universe into comics and reading comics, because that's going to be good for the Marvel business as well. But the question I was going to ask is a complete comic noob. So I've seen this. The Haunted Mansion is another one that I'm super interested in. So I can just go to like my local comic shop and I can kind of pre-order it, and they'll save me a copy, so I don't have to worry about coming in on day one and fighting people for it.
You'll fill out a form, and they'll just, whenever they get their batch in, they'll pull it, and then they'll have like a little folder that has your name, and you can just let those accumulate over time, and then you can just come in the store and give them your name, and they'll pull your folder, and then you'll have like 5 or however many comics you want pulled for you, and you just buy them there. It's great.
I've been kind of scared to go into a comic store as a comic noob, and that's totally awesome.
Yeah.
They don't bite. You'll be okay.
They don't? Okay, good.
No.
Yeah, the Haunted Mansion comic's gonna be awesome too. It's I feel like the individual issues are for collectors. I sometimes like to wait for when they come out with, after the 5th or 6th issue, they'll come out with the binded book of all of them, and it's a really good read after that.
Yeah. Is that what you're going to do with Han Mansion, do you think?
Yeah, probably.
That's what I'm thinking.
We'll see how the first one goes.
Yep. Tad in the chat is saying, Lloyd, you're showing off your stash.
Here's a variant cover that I picked up for the Avengers Operation Hydra. So it looks like something from like Jack Kirby days.
Yeah.
So I just picked this one up because I really like the look of it. But this is, you can see right at the top, it says variant edition.
That's awesome.
So and it's sold out right away at my comic book shop. So I had to pick this one up the day that it came out. So yeah, you'll want to go down and basically ask them to do it. Otherwise they might not even bring it in if they don't think that variant is going to sell, other than maybe they have collectors that collect all the variants. So they might bring in 1 or 2. But yeah, you should definitely go down and try to order it if your comic book shop will do that for you.
Awesome. I'm going to add that to the list of things to do. Jeff is saying that his comic shop also gives you 20% off if you have a pull box.
Yeah, most of them will give you like bags and boards as well. Like, so you buy the comic and you get a percentage off, and then they'll give you a bag and board for it, depending on obviously your shop in your local area.
You guys are teaching me so much. This is awesome.
Educational show, bro.
Seriously, before you know it, you're going to turn me into a comic reader.
Awesome.
Cool. All right, guys. Next news item of the week. This is coming at you from InfinityInquirer.com. And this is another one of those surprising no one. Disney Infinity Light FX Kylo Ren figure. It has shown up on a variety of retailers, but recently has showed up at one of the biggest one in the UK. Game is listing the figure and calling it their exclusive with a release date of April 8th. So a month away. Who knows? Because there's no, I don't know. There's no trend when it comes to what worldwide release is versus Canadian or US. But at the very least, this is some confirmation that it exists. Thoughts, guys? It's looking like the same price as all the other Light FX figures.
Yeah, the Game Store, I believe, is the GameStop equivalent in United Kingdom. So that might mean that GameStop is getting that exclusive. It's just a guess, but
oh man,
as long as it's not Walmart, I'm happy with it. But that's cool. I wanted this, obviously, Kylo Ren dude, but This is really cool to me. I have all the light effects that have come out so far. I think they're really awesome.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, they're all still in their box, which I'm not very happy about. But that's only because I'm waiting for a display where I can actually display these nicely.
Do you have one
So they're
ordered,
not
like custom?
now. Oh yeah, I haven't seen anybody make something
Mm.
that's like reproducible and sellable to everybody else. But yeah, I can't wait for this one.
Yeah. Yeah, it looks cool.
It looks so good. I love light effects. I just wish that we knew what was happening in Canada. I think we only got 4 light effects figures up here. At least the other ones, I have no idea where they went or where if they showed up anywhere. You can't see them in stores. You can't find them on websites. So it's a little disappointing being a Canadian and having issues getting this product sometimes. I will order a Kylo Ren from the States if I have to, because that's one figure that I definitely want is light effects. But yeah, I wish they were a little more clear with the release dates for these types of things.
Yeah, and I really want a custom of this one too. I want like an unmasked version, if we can do that.
Ooh, that'd be awesome.
I'm gonna see what I can get somebody to make me.
There's enough talented modders out there that can make that happen, I'm sure.
Yeah.
The picture, it's not a high res picture, and then it's only one. And honestly, I can't tell if it's any different whatsoever than the one we currently have. It might just be Photoshop filter on the standard one. In fact, that's kind of what it looks like. But if it's not, it does look really cool because the light inside the saber, and I know it's not really how they work, but it looks all twisted and mangled. And so I that's the thing I think I'm super excited about with this, is more so than the hilt itself, but having that kind of twisted effect in the blade and how that's going to translate via that light effects.
Yeah, and this is like the one light effects that people might have to double dip on, because we knew all the other ones which were coming before the game released. This one was strongly hinted at, but yeah, there might be people that want to double dip to get this specific one.
Yeah. Yep, it would not surprise me if it is one of the most popular LifeX figures, period.
Definitely.
What do you guys think is the most popular one is right now?
Vader.
That'd be my guess
Vader.
too. Yeah.
I would think so.
Cool. Anything else?
Luke was fine because it's at Walmart.
Say that again?
I think Luke is probably the hardest one to find.
Yeah.
But Vader is probably the most popular.
Yep, that would make sense. Anything else about Kylo before we move on?
He's awesome.
Yes, he is awesome. How many have you counted up the amount of Kylo Ren collectibles you've acquired over the last 6 months?
It's ridiculous. It's a ridiculous amount. I will definitely have to do a video or something one day because it's getting out of hand.
You totally should.
It's part of my daily ritual. I'll go and do a search. If I'm in a bad mood or something, I get in a little rage. Buying a Kylo Ren anything just settles me down like a little kitten or something.
What's the Kylo Ren equivalent to that?
A little blue light appears and shines down on you a little bit of blue light on this one side of your face.
Yeah.
It takes the rage away. Is that's what happens?
Oh man, that's it.
After seeing your helmet, I have one on order. I hope it comes in soon. The full like black edition helmet, the one that you can wear, and I have my eye set on the movie prop lightsaber. That's like $250, and if I can find some way to get it in the house without getting a divorce or killed, that's going to be mine as well. That would be the first 2 pieces of my Halloween costume, I think.
That's amazing. Well, cool. Well, yeah, make that video. Lloyd, you'll have to do the podcast next time, or when you get your helmet.
Yeah.
Cool.
Another helmet, buddy.
There you go. There you go. All right, guys. Last news item is not even technically Infinity, but it's just super awesome, and hopefully it means it will one day be Infinity related. Anyone who's been a longtime viewer, listener of the show knows that we are very big fans of Ducktales. Look at what? Pirate's even sporting a awesome shirt. So the first look of the Disney XD reboot of Ducktales was released today. Lloyd, you actually sent this to me in our private chat, which was super cool. Yeah, what do you guys think? This picture looks super awesome and retro and very DuckTales-y.
I used to buy the old comics, like the old Donald Duck comics and stuff way back in the day. Or I didn't buy them. They were given to me from like uncles and whatever. So they were like really, really old ones. And this art style looks very close to that. It's super retro. I love old comic books. So seeing this being the first teaser image makes me hope that this isn't just like a cover, like a cover slide or whatever, and then the cartoon's new. If they look like this, I'm just gonna be blown away. I love old animation, and this just looks so retro. It's really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the Carl Banks was the original like Donald Duck artist for the comics, and like you can tell the inspiration behind that because Donald Duck's shirt is black and not blue. And Scrooge McDuck has that red shirt, and it looks great. A lot of people were thinking it would be a 3D cartoon because it is so new.
Yeah.
But yeah, that looks great. Daisy's in it, as we saw. She's in the back seat there. So I hope this is the start of many more Disney Afternoon reboots. We can get them in Infinity then. It'd be cool. But Disney Animation's on a roll. Tangled is getting their own show, and Big Hero 6 is getting a show. And this looks great.
Yeah, and it's great. And the beauty of all of these, Tangled and Big Hero 6 included, is that these are the types of shows that are great for the whole family. They're I wish I had a lot of the old Disney Afternoon stuff on video or digital or something because it holds up, and I feel like this art style, it reminds me of the Mickey Mouse cartoons that have come out over the last couple of years. It's this kind of a stylized version, but it still has this very classic look to it. And what do you guys think? Cindy in the chat was saying not a huge fan of Donald being in this screenshot because he wasn't very much involved in the first series. Does that bother you guys, or do you think that's just a little bit modernization of
I mean, it's a duck cartoon, so I mean Donald Duck is the uncle, and even though he's not called uncle, well, I guess he is Uncle Donald. There's Uncle Scrooge, Uncle Donald. I don't know what the relationship between all these ducks are.
It's always been confusing to me.
Yeah, we don't see Launchpad in there, which is a little different.
That's a good thought.
Hopefully, if it's a duck world, I think Saint Bernard is like right next to Duckburg, so a Darkwing Duck cameo every now and then would be nice. But I'm excited.
Yeah. This is us pleading for anyone who's interested in anything Disney Afternoon. Watch this and get all your friends to watch it too, so the ratings are good.
It's just weird. This is coming into a world that really doesn't have Saturday morning cartoons anymore and stuff. So it's such a different world than when it came out the first time. But hopefully it's popular enough and they get enough subscribers to the channel watching it.
Yeah.
Because I'd love to see, like you said, Steven, like every single Disney Afternoon show rebooted for the new I don't know, the new era with toys, with Disney Infinity figures, with comic books, because I still have some old cartoons saved. I had them on VHS and I digitized them, and they're really terrible quality, but I showed them to my kids and they love them, and I'd love to be able to then buy box sets of all this stuff
If you go on Amazon, you can buy like season sets of Darkwing, Tailspin, Rescue Rangers, Gummy Bears, all for like $9.99.
I need that.
It is definitely worth it, just as a history lesson to your kids and everything, to be able to show them what great animation was, as opposed to some of the stuff they have now.
Totally.
It's cool to have on YouTube. You can do a search for like kids reacting to DuckTales.
Yeah.
So now they're going to actually see their version of DuckTales coming. So 10 years from now, we'll have people reacting to this new version.
Totally.
Justin in the chat is giving us a hard time. He's asking where's Lim is to interrupt us with questions. He's asking, when will we get a multi-character fig in Infinity, a la Huey, Dewey, and Louie? I could see that. But how would that play? That's the question.
I think a power disc, like if they had like a Rescue Ranger team up power disc, maybe you plop that down, and the two chipmunks in their Rescue Ranger outfits come help would be really cool.
That would be cool.
Great.
And that might make a little more sense, right? Because that's something we've kind of seen in the game before, although not power disc, but specials. So yeah, I want to have an Octodad style control scheme, Lloyd, where you're controlling 3 ducks at once.
Would be amazing. I would love that.
Now it sounds like a good idea, huh?
Totally.
Awesome. Well, cool. Well, I don't know. I'm super stoked about this show, and I hope it does really well. And yeah, you guys are right. It almost seems like this would be perfect for a Netflix reboot, because that's kind of been the trend on some of these nostalgia shows. There's a Netflix partnership with Disney, so maybe we would get it at some point. But yeah, I don't know. Hopefully Disney XD, there's enough subscribers out there that we'll be able to check this out.
Totally. And I'm sure they'll sell it on iTunes and all the other on-demand video places. So there'll be a place that you can get it before. Well, do they still even make like DVD sets of TV series? I don't even know if that's a thing anymore.
I think so.
If this will come out that way.
Yeah. Cool, gents. Well, that's going to wrap up the news item. That being said, we got something else kind of fun, and this is thanks to you again, Pirate. So you knew you were going to be on the show tonight, and so you sent out a tweet to your hundreds of followers, and it's cut off on screen. Oh, no. You have to take my word for it, what you asked. You said, I'm going to be on the Inside Infinity show, Disney Infinity TV tonight. Let me know if anyone has any topics or questions to discuss. Let's see here. This is a good one. Elmo responded, you could discuss how you think Infinity is going to use water mechanics in the toy box. This has been something that's been, ever since that little tease last week on Next, has kind of been hotly debated on the internet. In fact, Steve C., I'm going to wait until we have some discussion, but I was on a podcast with him tonight, and he had one of the best ideas I've heard yet, which I was like, what's going on here? I think pigs flew by or something. But, Pirate, what do you think? How could they introduce swimming in the toy box?
So we don't know what if there's going to be. I mean, obviously there's going to be a Pixar playset. There's only one big major motion picture Pixar that's coming out this summer. So just if we're guessing, it was Finding Dory. It's a playset. So how would they bring that into the toy box? I don't know. Maybe. I don't know if it's going to be in 3.0 toy box, because JV, I think it said that it wasn't any major toy box mechanics going in for the rest of the year. It's mostly just the play sets and such. I can only think of maybe like having Dory or whoever the characters are would be like in a fishbowl in a car or something. It's kind of like the car characters that would go around.
Mm-hmm. What do you think, Lloyd?
Fishbowl feels. Yeah, I don't know. I could see that they might have just a bubble around them, and they could swim up and down just like the flying mechanics. Maybe it would look really weird if you're in a toy box, multiplayer toy box, and there's some people that are like Iron Man and Elsa, and then Dory. Like it would just be bizarre having those three characters in the same toy box at the same time. So I wonder what they're going to do. Like, maybe it's going to be like Battlegrounds, where you get these figures that are really mainly they're usable outside, but then you're in this toy box, or you're in this play set that is totally different than any other play set that we've ever seen. Mm-hmm. So maybe, like you said, Pirate, maybe you're in a fishbowl with wheels to get around, but then when you're in the play set, you're actually underwater, and it's a full different gaming experience. And I could see them do that to kind of do I don't know, give the fans something that they really want without having to change everything in the toy box.
Mm-hmm.
A good example would be Ariel. So maybe when you play with her in the toy box, she has her legs, and then if you're in a play set or something, or maybe there's a different type of, like when you go to new toy box, maybe there's like one you select called New Underwater, and that's more compatible with Dory characters or Little Mermaid and such.
Yeah. Green Cap is touching on kind of what Steve C's idea was. And I'd kind of been on this kick where I'm like, it's just going to be flying mechanics, but you're underwater instead of flying. But like the Cars characters, and maybe even more limited in some ways, it's going to limit the gameplay. Steve C was saying tonight the idea he had was just create some artificial constraints. It's a video game. You can manipulate the world in order to make sense for the gameplay. And he's like, you're just kind of floating right above the ground, and it's like any land character. You can kind of swim up 5 feet or so, or maybe there's some sort of momentum that's kind of like a jump or something. But then it kind of brings the gameplay more in line with what we're used to and familiar with, and that kind of makes sense. There's a lot of times they're swimming really close to the ground and the movies and stuff like that. Then you can have them in any toy box, and it can be a literal fish out of water. So
maybe they'll do something. I know Megamind isn't a Disney property, but maybe they'll have this big robot with a fishbowl with the fish swimming around in it, just like the robot in Megamind. It'll be something like that to give these fish characters some sort of mobility when they're not in water, except for obviously Ariel, who could have her legs, and that's great. But yeah, it's gonna be weird. Like if you have a car and a fish and a person and a Jedi in a toy box, it's gonna be weird, and in the best possible way.
Exactly.
There's gonna be so many laughs shared on my couch. It's gonna be amazing.
Yep.
And it's going to be cool to see Nemo with the Keyblade trying to wield it. Or Dory or whoever with the Keyblade.
No, Nemo will be the best because he can only wield it in his bum fin. So he's like, he can only just barely
swinging around.
Westasaurus, who's in the chat, had a great question as well. How do we feel about the focus on upcoming movies? Do we like it, or will we prefer a balance between new and old? Lloyd, you're shaking your head.
I like it. One of the original kind of not promises, but sort of big picture ideas when Disney Infinity was thrown out there as a thing was, we're not going to make movie license games anymore. We're going to have stuff plugged right into Disney Infinity. There'll be one place to go for everything Disney. So if that is actually what's going to happen, I love that idea. I love the fact that a movie comes out, the day of the movie, I go across the street with my kids to the Disney store, I buy the play set, I buy the extra figures, we come home after watching the movie and then experience something similar to the movie in the game. I love that idea. And it'd be the same with a new cartoon series, new Star Wars movies, tying a video game property to a video property of some form just makes total sense. I mean, Disney's all about marketing and branding. This is the biggest co-branding thing that they could possibly do. It's like movie, video game, same day. There you go. Have fun, kids. I love that idea. I would love to get other stuff that isn't movies as well, so they don't have to just limit it to whatever their newest movies are. But if that's going to be the focus for the next little bit, I have absolutely no problems with that myself.
Yeah, and if you look at the Disney, Marvel, Star Wars slate the next few years, there's some really great movies coming out. So I like that trend. If they're going to come up with something for each release, I think that's great with a classic character sprinkled every now and then.
Yeah.
JV said he fought hard for classic Baloo, which everybody I feel like is going to love, and I think that's a good addition and a good example. You can sprinkle classic in with the rest of them.
Totally, you can still make it relevant while providing that fan service. I touched on it last week on last week's show. One of the things that made me most excited, kind of going off what you're saying, Lloyd, is that JV said if it's something that's coming from Disney, there's going to be something Infinity. If there's making a movie, you're going to see something. And that's, even if it's not a playset always, it's still super exciting, like you said, just to be able to, we've talked about over and over in the show, just playing along with the game. Yeah, you have the Zootopia power disc there.
The texture pack. If we get texture sets, like if they come out with texture packs for every new movie that comes out, even if that is the only thing that property is going to be in game, is just a Sky Dome and a texture pack for that movie. I mean, even just that would be great, because then it allows all the toy box artists or just fans to get out there and build something that has the feel and the sounds and the look of whatever movie is their new favorite thing that's come out from Disney.
Totally.
Yeah, and I don't know, I can't tell you like the exact fact of this, but I know that some people that bought tickets to Zootopia online got sent a code for the digital Sky Dome for Zootopia to use in Disney Infinity. And I think it's cool, because I was thinking that, like, how cool would it be if you went and saw Tomorrowland and they gave you like a Tomorrowland power disc or something?
That'd be awesome.
They really need to do this with Blu-ray and DVD releases, for like, because there's always an anniversary release. Like Snow White just got re-released. They could have made some kind of like maybe like the Snow White vehicle from the Mine Train or something, a power disc. And they can even make those like retail exclusives. Maybe go to Target to buy such and such movie, and you get a power disc that's on there. Because how much could it possibly cost to make one little power disc for that retailer to get an exclusive sale of that movie? I think that'd be the brilliant way to go, and to advance really power disc in the game, because that's something that's really lacking this year.
And the strangest thing is they've only done this once, and that was with Disney Infinity 1.0. You could get Mike Wazowski, and it's like, but it's like, well, he's part of he's in the game. People already bought him because they needed co-op characters. So it was a weird thing to put on the box. So maybe that didn't go over so well. So maybe that's why Disney's steering clear from that. But yeah, like power discs, if that is maybe the only way to get specific power discs, instead of having King Mickey being given out at a conference, maybe having whatever the new texture pack being given out by the Blu-ray release of whatever movie. That would be great. I mean, that's just extra awesome for people that are already buying the movies. I buy all my movies digitally for my kids, but I'd just as happily go pick up the Blu-ray if I got power discs in it and buy it that way.
Yeah. This is something we literally, I think the three of us probably talked about in year one of Infinity. The difference is now, Lloyd, and the difference from when the Mike Wazowski thing happened, is that the game itself is much bigger and it has a much larger audience. So I think the probability of success is there now where it might have not been there before.
And the whole internet access required icon that they have on stuff now is kind of forcing that, where that was never an option before, because it had on the Wii, and a large proportion of Wii users never put their system online, so they couldn't come up with that update. But now with 3.0 and all new content that's going to be coming out after I guess Zootopia, it's going to have those little icons on the box. I mean, it's kind of the new way for them to go. It totally makes sense. Maybe they were just a little ahead of the game with the 1.0 release, trying to do that. But now that they're further along and they have, I guess, a lot more stuff, a lot more properties to draw from, but also a lot more users and a lot more ideas floated around, they can start, playing with some of that stuff and see what really goes over well with the community.
Yep. And this actually kind of ties in with another question here, and this is actually from Boondog Man in the chat. The future of toy boxes need to be a topic. With no 4.0 this summer, will we see changes in building? There's a follow-up. New creative toys or improvements to make some more efficient, like Music Creator. More bug fixes also. Pirate, you are a master builder. That is your official title. What do you think about this? There was some question after Next, the day of, and JV quickly kind of squashed that rumor that is there going to be another summit with no new toy box to present? That was such a big part of previous year's summits. How do you think this whole toy box improvement discussion is going to shape out with kind of the way they're doing the game in 2016?
It'd be great to know ahead of time kind of what we're getting in the future, because every other year there was an endpoint, like a Super Bowl for toy box building, which kind of was like the summit. So we knew when the season was over. We knew it would be in August. People would build up until that time, but now it's like you could be building the entire year and not know when you're getting your new toys and things. Like we don't know what's coming with this Marvel Battleground. There's supposedly X amount of toys with it, but who knows what we're getting, and is that enough to get us to continue to build for months and months and months till we get more toys thrown in there.
Yeah, do you think this still provides the opportunity for bug fixes? That was one thing that I was super excited about with this, is because with every new toy box iteration, although a ton of improvements, there also comes a series of bugs that generally take, some of which take months to fix. And that alone was like, you know what, this is going to be great just for that aspect. You're not going to have to worry about a new release and what you can and can't build based on bugs, because they've been squashing bugs and they're going to continue to. But it's not an evolution of the engine. It is the same engine, just with patched in content.
Yeah, and I think that's going to allow them to iterate a lot quicker now. They don't have to worry about adding like something as big as a spline tool and then figuring out all the support issues that are going to come from that. What is it going to break? What is it going to change? If they're just adding other blocks, other facades, other buildings, other trees, that stuff could probably be patched in without really damaging anything else that's already in the toy box.
Yeah. How do you think they're gonna release new do you think they're gonna release non-playset, non-figure release related content in the toy box? Like, one of the things I look forward to every version of the game is new Disney Park stuff. Do you see that going away because for 3.0, or do you think that maybe, I don't know, based on certain events, maybe the launch of Star Wars Land, they'll give us some Star Wars Land Infinitoys, or do you think they might just throw us a few here and there with other content that's patched in for the playsets?
I could see them with all the new figures that are coming out. You buy whatever the new Star Wars figure is for whatever unannounced Star Wars thing is. You drop it down, instead of just getting the poster, you get a series of toys that are related to that character.
That'd be cool.
As a way to add that content back into the game. I could see them doing maybe something like that. Maybe even adding pages in the store so the new Star Wars movie comes out, the playset comes out, and then here's 20 other toys that you have to buy with Sparks.
Yeah.
Be a great way to add some more replayability to the game, because people are going to be out there hunting down Sparks again and buying toys that they want, and then the ability to maybe get toys with every character that you purchase in lieu of having to wait for a new box copy to come with that stuff. That would be a really great way for them to do that.
I think the thing I'm most disappointed in is that I'm lazy, not like Pirate, who has worked his tail off, and I was just waiting for 4.0 to unlock my R2-D2, my BB-8, my Black X-Wing, my Poe Edition X-Wing, and that's not going to happen now. I was like, oh man, now I just have to wait till 4.0 for those things, or I'm going to have to actually do it the hard way. So
yeah, that's the unfortunate thing, because I was kind of waiting for the same thing as well.
Awesome. All right, gents, the last question, and we thank everyone who sent us questions via Twitter. That was a good idea, Pirate. But I do think this is probably the most important question, and it's coming from our friend Lauren, Mighty Jidus. And so I'm just going to read it verbatim. Would we prefer to have our townsperson punted off a cliff, dropped in a Sarlacc pit, or smashed under smashers? Pirate, why don't you go first?
Well, my reply back to that was, by that time, can you not like force the townsperson to drink rum or eat frosted donuts with sprinkles or something, some kind of torture that way? Because that's the kind of torture I would prefer.
Right, me too.
But a good old drop kick through like the end zone goalposts they have for the ESPN Sports, that'd be awesome. I can't wait for my town. We haven't been contacted yet about our townspeople for them to start developing them yet. So I don't know when they're gonna be out there. Are they gonna be patched in? Are we gonna wait for the next big release or whatnot? But very excited to see the results, and I can't wait to play toy boxes where my townsperson is being tortured.
That's awesome.
Or,
And
or if you want to be nice, you can be nice to me as well. You don't have to torture, but
no,
uh, yeah, why
you're a
not?
pirate.
It's all fun and games.
That's funny. And I'll be completely honest, when I know this was kind of in jest, but I totally forgot that you're all getting townspeople. I just completely, I don't know why. I was feeling like we were still in 2015 and there's only going to be one. Lloyd, you and I
Yeah,
aren't.
five more people will be entering the game in this next go round. So we'll
That's awesome.
see. Can't wait to see what everybody's townsperson personalities and what they look like. Obviously, I'm hoping mine can have the rights to have a hat. I'm thinking a brown or black shirt with maybe jeans or khakis and just like a smirk, like a sly smirk on its face.
That's, yeah. Sums
With
you
one
up.
eyebrow up.
So yeah, I can't wait. This is gonna be it's gonna be fun.
That'd be cool. Cool.
Good.
Awesome, gentlemen. Well, I think that's going to wrap up this week's show. We actually had plenty to talk about. We always find something to talk about, but those are some good topics you brought up, Pirate. And thanks for everyone who kind of played along and tweeted at you. That's a good idea.
Somebody wanted us to say Steven Tyler, so I'm saying
Oh, yeah.
Steven Tyler.
I was going to try to squeeze that in under my breath, so I'm glad you caught that. Cool. Well, Pirate, man, thank you so much for coming on this week's show. You, despite not getting the invite as often as you should, you are more than welcome to come on the show anytime you want. If it's been a while and Lloyd and I suck and we haven't reached out to you.
Still watch it when I'm not on it. It's all right.
Yeah, that's right.
It's all good.
You always
Y'all
give
are
us a hard
funny.
time
It's awesome to watch.
when we say things like Dory the Explorer. Where can people find you on the internet?
You can find me on Disney Infinity Fans, moderator there. You can also find me on Twitter at thepiratesteven.com. At thepiratesteven is my Twitter handler. But yeah, feel free to message me whenever you want, and we'll just talk toy boxes and Infinity.
Yeah,
or other things. I'll talk about other things too.
How many winning toy boxes do you have now? And everyone should absolutely go look up all your toy boxes too. How many do you have winning for 3.0?
My feature total, this is funny, is 6, and that's considered to be low this year.
That's crazy.
Which is ridiculous. But yeah, it's a great time building toy boxes, making stories. I mean, who doesn't want to build it's a dream in life to build Star Wars and Marvel and Disney games and get recognized for that. What other better job is there?
Seriously. That's awesome, man. Cool. Well, thanks again for being on this week, and we love having you always. So, Mr. Hansen, where can people find you on the intertubes?
Well, shows are coming back this week. I took a week off because of my concussion last week, so no shows that I host were up on the Res Network. But we'll be starting those up again this week. You can check all that stuff out over at res.tv if you want to follow me on Twitter and chat about anything really. Just chat with me. Twitter.com/Dasme. I'm at Dasme on Twitter, DASME. And yeah, I think that's it. Awesome. Doing a lot of streaming on Res, so follow us on twitch.tv/ResTV. My wife and I do a Minecraft show most Fridays, so if you want to check that out, well, we play Minecraft together, and she makes fun of me and causes me to fall in lava, because who doesn't love that? You can check that out on Fridays. But yeah, check out anything that we do over on res.tv.
Yep, and we actually just launched a new show, or Lim launched it with James and James from I Heart James, and it's a comic show, which is super cool. I mean, for anyone who's a Marvel fan, it's comics of old. He calls it past, present, and future. So call it the Ghost of Comic Past, Present, and Future. It was a great show last week. You can find that over on our YouTube channel. Like you said, Lloyd, we're doing lots of live streams. We're going to be live streaming a lot of the division this week, so if you're interested in that, that should be fun. So again, that's twitch.tv/ResTV. You can also follow me on Twitter at iLiam. And I think that's all the plugs we need for tonight. Pirate, buddy, again, thanks for coming on tonight. It was a pleasure.
Thanks for having me.
All right, buddy. Well, until next time, we'll see you later. And to all you folks out there in internet land, until next time, we hope your week is filled with infinite possibilities. We hope you enjoyed this week's episode of the Inside Infinity podcast. If you like what we do, please subscribe to us at any of our channels there. Thanks to all of our patrons. Without you, we could not do the show. Sincerely, thank you. If you'd be interested in becoming a patron of ours, patreon.com/DisneyInfinityTV. And please check out our parent network, youtube.com/ResTV or res.tv.